Alright, so this is a tutorial where I'm going to be taking you through how to customize a promo by adding the stitched options. These are the options we add after we have gotten interest from schools. Alright, so the initial promo that we send out looks a lot like this. It has items 1 through 6, as you can see, and then items 13 through 16. So items 7 through 12 are actually missing. That's because these items are the stitched options that we add in after. You'll notice that all the options on the page are currently printed options. That's because these options are the easiest to edit using the catalog macro and send out. So I'm going to be showing you how to add the the item options number 7 through 12. I'm going to just show you an example of that page now, as it already has been done. So if you look here at this page, it still has the original logo options and item options, but now it has additional options as well. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any item number 12, but if you look closely, it has the first item that we added is item number 7, which is completely embroidery. Then item number 8 printed, item number 9 stitched of the same logo, and then again item number 10 and item number 11 with the printed and stitched options. So I'm just going to zoom in and show you that. So these logos here are what we refer to as script with tail. They are more difficult to add on to the macros when we're sending them out in a bunch, which is why we add them on after. This here is just the embroidery option of the outlines. I'm going to be showing you how to create these items, two different ways actually, and then I'm going to show you how to add these items onto the promo. Okay, so the first and easiest way to create these these three items with the logos is to actually take it from an existing template that has these. So I'm going to be using this one here, which is the tigers, as you can see. There we go, the tigers. And I'm going to use the find and replace text edit tool to change tigers to grizzlies. Alright, so let's go edit, and you scroll down to find and replace, and then find and replace text. Now it's important that you always click match case so that, for example, if you have something that's uppercase, it always stays in uppercase, or like logos number 8 and 10, they stay both upper and lowercase. So we make sure we always click match case. The find what is what you already have existing. So on our sheet here we have tigers, which is what we are going to be finding. So we're going to type in tigers, and we're going to do first logo number 7, so in capitals, tigers. And then replace with is what we want it to be changed to. So in capitals again, we're going to be typing grizzlies. Oops. Grizzlies. And then when you're done, you hit replace all. It replaces that for you. It'll say replace complete, and you say OK. There we go. See, it says grizzlies now. Next, we're going to be doing the tiger script with tail, which is both upper and lower case. So again, have match case on, but with only the first letter being a capital and the rest being lowercase. And again, we're going to click replace all. And replace complete, OK, and you can close that now. So now we have these ones created. The colors are the same, but if the colors were different, we would have to change those. Also, what we have to change with this one here is we have to put the grizzlies behind the tail. So I'm just going to hold Control and press page down to get it to go behind. You can do this a few times until it goes behind. I'm also going to shrink it a little bit to fit in the bubble. Sometimes you have to tweak them just a little. I'm going to do the same with the item number 10 and 11. I'm going to shrink it a little so that it fits nicer in the bubble. Okay, so this is the easiest way to create these options, because after you do the find and replace, and then if you had to do a color replace, which is located in the macro usually at the top over here or at the bottom, that's the second macro. You can use the color replace to find the colors that you don't want and replace it with the colors that you do want. It's very simple to use. In this case, we don't actually have to use it, it's the same colors. Just for the purpose of teaching though, I will show you it quickly. So assuming that I wanted to change all the blue to red, I would click on blue, see how it now has the blue there, and click red. And I'm going to say, make sure you have fills and outlines selected for this, as long as it's not working with colors white or black, as those colors are often used for text or outlines. Make sure it's on current page or whole document. Active layer or selection will mean it's just specifically one area. Then you click OK, and it does the color change. Yeah. Since we didn't need to change these colors, I'm just going to change them back. You can easily do this by clicking the swap button. It swaps the colors, and then you say OK again. Oh, it was on just selection, sorry. Let's try this again. Make sure it's on current page, and say OK. Alright, so now we have the colors and the text. It's very simple to do. You're just going to copy the section you want. So Control C, and then go to the page that we're editing. And we are going to move these up by shrinking them. Oops, didn't quite grab them all. Try that again. Okay, so the reason why the one box isn't moving is because it's actually locked. So you have to unlock the object. If you find ever an object can't be moved, or if you can't edit it, it's probably because it's been locked. Alright, so we're going to move that up. And then we're just going to move this down out of the way, and we'll fit it all in nicely afterwards. Press Control V to paste your selection back in. Okay, so just going to refer to the last page for a second. 2.4. Okay, and we're going to stretch that out so that it's right. And we're going to shrink this part here down. Again, I'm going to refer to the other page. Okay. We're going to be getting rid of this bottom information here. There's also a box. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And again, refer to the next page. Notice another difference here at the bottom is that these ones here only have the hood logo options. It doesn't tell you about the script with tail options or the other logo options because we have already put them in the page. So we're actually going to get rid of this here. Click delete, and we're going to be putting We're going to be putting the hoods beside each other. I'm just going to lock the object so it stops moving on me. And we can make those bigger. Move the text. Okay. Next thing I'm noticing now is that the colors are actually different here. So let's try to customize all the colors and mascots to be the same. We're going to go with this color theme here, but we're changing grizzlies to mascots. Sorry, mascot to grizzly. So let's go into our color replace tool. We're going to find black items and we're going to change them to the blue we have here. We're going to say OK. And then we're going to change the gold to replace the greens and blues here. Actually, let's just the volleyball should be the same color as the shirt, so we're going to change that there. And we're going to change it here as well. I realize it's blue and blue right now, but we are going to be changing the other blue to a yellow, or rather a gold, so that that doesn't actually look that way. Give that a second. Okay. Now we're going to do the color replacer again. We're going to find this blue here. Okay, sometimes it's hard to actually get the blue. So what I'll do is I'll create a box, use the eyedrop tool, and place it in the box. So now I have that big box. Click find, click on the box, we got the right color, and then we're going to find the gold we want. This is the gold we want over here, so we're going to click on that. Just say OK. The eye changed up here. I'm just going to change that back. And we're going to change this here to be the right colors. And again, over here, we're going to be changing the colors. Change that to white. And we're going to change everything that's black here to blue. Okay. There we go. And just for one last thing, we're going to get rid of that logo and replace it with the larger logo here. I'm just going to copy and paste by holding down my left click and right clicking at the same time. Then shrink it using Shift. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay. So that's one way of creating these logos. We also have to fix up the order form so that the mascots and school names are the same throughout. So I'm thinking it's Kennedy as a school and Grizzlies as the mascot. So now we're going to go to our Edit, Find and replace text. Once again, match case. Type in mascot in uppercase and Grizzlies in uppercase. Replace all. then again, we're going to be typing in school in find what, uppercase, and then Kennedy with the in the replace with, also in uppercase, replace all. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to do this one manually because there was a problem with the text. Also, I'm going to note when you're using the AB option, you can't hit enter when you're done. You have to say OK. Enter will not work. Another thing I'm noticing here is that there's actually a different mascot here, so we're going to change this mascot to say Grizzlies, because we want it to be all the same. Oops. So I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to do this one manually, because I have to do a bit of placement. Note when you're doing anything with script, you have an uppercase G and the rest is lowercase. I'm going to make it bigger to fit it. Because it looks a little empty, I'm just going to put Kennedy there as well. Make that smaller though. There we go. Okay. And finally, you want to make sure that you have the short name, or sometimes they use initials from their school. Make sure that those are all correct and that they're all the same. Okay. So now that this has been done, I'm going to show you the second way to create logo items 7, 8, and 10. It's actually fairly simple. I'm going to show you the script with tail first. So if you go into your storage and you go into Cutter and mascot, oops, wrong one. Yeah, so you go into mascot Cutter files. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and you're going to go to the Corel file that says script with tail. Sorry, template for script with tail. And it's very simple. You're just typing in or retyping in the mascot here, or if it's a school name, you're typing in the school. We're going to type in Grizzlies. Once again, the first letter is a capital. The others are not. Say OK. You want to fit it so that the word is the same length as the tail. That's why I'm just squeezing it down a little bit. And for the purpose of the mockup, we don't have to change anything else about this. However, for cutting, we would have to separate the dots from the eyes from the I letter form, as well as merge it all together. But that's another tutorial that's also located in the tutorials, so we're not going to work with that right now. Right. So very simply, you're pasting your new logo, scale it down, and assuming that this wasn't here already, we're going to be putting it in. Work with the colors. Make sure that when you're doing your outline, you're going to make it about 2, but you want to go behind fill and scale with image so that when it does get scaled, it's not out of proportion with the rest of the logo. Next, you're going to go Control page down just to get the grizzlies behind the tail. And then we're going to type in, oops, not there. we're going to type in volleyball. Also make sure this is all capitals for the script that's within the tail. And we always use the font Arial Rounded for this. So just type in Arial, go down to Rounded, MT Bold, and then we're going to shrink it to fit in the tail. Again, we want this text color to match the same color as whatever the shirt is or pants are. So we make that the same blue. And if you wanted it to be without the two color option, then obviously you just wouldn't have given an outline. You would have just put it over here. So I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly. You're going to take your item, paste it, get rid of the outline. Simple. Okay. So the next one we're going to be creating is item number 7, the embroidery option. I'm going to take this, Control C, and I'm going to bring it over here to make it bigger so that you can really see what's going to be happening. Now, how you start off with creating this is you're actually going to type in whatever logo or mascot you're working with. In this case, it's Grizzlies, so uppercase, type it in. Let's make it, well, let's give it so we can see it and make it bigger. You're working with the font CDD Bold. Alright, so once you have your font CDD Bold, the next thing we're going to do is center it. You have to make sure that you always center your logos before doing anything else to them. Then we're going to be stretching it slightly. As you notice, it has to be a little bit bigger. And finally, we're going to be using the interactive envelope tool to give it that arc. Once you're on the interactive envelope tool, go to single arc mode and click your bottom node and drag up, but also hold Control to get both to go up. There we go. Maybe I'll just bring it up a little bit more. So that's the basic shape of it, but now I'm just going to kind of dissect the logo here for you just to show you how many parts there are. It's overlapped by 3 parts. Okay? So the very first one has to have a very big outline. So it used 23. We're going to go with 23. And we're going to go behind fill and scale with image like we always do. The next thing we're going to do is going to go Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it on top of each other. And we're going to go slightly smaller now, 18, but we're going to change the outline to a different color. We might want to go just a little bit smaller than that, so I'm actually going to go to 16. Let's see how big the actual one is. Okay, so it's almost 15. I'm going to do that then. 15. And then finally we're going to go Control C, Control V again to paste on top of each other again. Give it a much smaller outline. Let's go up to 8. It's a little bit big. Let's go back down to 6. Alright, that looks right there. Making sure, of course, that as you went along, both all of your layers were all behind fill and scale with image for the outline. And finally, we're going to make our fill here the same color as the shirt would be, which is the navy blue. And that's how you create item number 7. And because we had scale with image on this, when we scale it down, it all stays in proportion. And we simply have to replace our logo with the new logo we just created. And you're going to be putting the club or sport below it, which in this case is volleyball, again in Arial rounded empty bold. Um, this time not as the same shirt color, but instead as a contrasting color such as the gold or white. In this case I went with white. And that is how you customize the final version of a promo for a school after they have shown interest. Now both are pretty much exactly the same. Obviously, we just went with a different color scheme. They both have the hood logos, the stitched options, and the printed options. And that's it.